How's it going, everybody? Dr. Jeff, Chief Medical Officer at Rythmia Life Advancement Center. So, today I want to talk about something that one of the viewers last week suggested, and I think it's a great idea. What happens if you're alone during this pandemic and you're by yourself? It's a little scary, kind of feeling isolated, right? And it can be a bit overwhelming. So that's why I recommend reaching out as much as possible to people on social media or the groups that you guys join, the Rythmia Facebook page, and we have a ton of videos. There's a lot of stuff you can do. They have meditations that they host, like big group meditations. All kinds of cool stuff is being done right now online. So I think that's really helpful. Like I was on a Zoom call yesterday with my whole family. And I got 28 nieces and nephews. So you can imagine that was a little nutso, but it was fun. We played games, So there's things you can do online if you're alone that can be helpful. But something else I want to talk about that's very important is a lot of you guys in preparation for Rythmia came off of meds, whether those were SSRIs, which are antidepressants, or benzodiazepines, or opiates, or methamphetamine meds like Adderall and stuff like that. There's a lot of you guys that tapered with the help of your doctor and then had either 30, 60, 90 days off or 2 weeks off or whatever it was that you guys had to be off of that in preparation to come to Rythmia. And then all of a sudden this happened. And then now you're kind of like, uh-oh, I was hoping to get a neurochemical reset with the ayahuasca, but now my trip is delayed. And now I'm like not on meds. I have a high level of anxiety, because that's what usually happens when you come off those various meds. What to do? Okay, so let me just reiterate this in plain, simple, straightforward talk. Always consult with your prescribing physician about what you should do regarding your meds. I'm not your doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. I have a doctorate in psychology. However, I've done med management on psychotropic medication my entire career. And so I know all about the meds. I've dealt with the meds forever. And so what you want to do, meds, number one, is be sure you're in touch with your prescribing doctor, because that doctor can help you with stuff, hopefully. The other thing is the longer you have off of these meds, the better the plant medicine will work. Now, there's like a minimum time requirement, usually 30 days for most of them. Sometimes it's 2 weeks. Depending on the person, it's 60 days for others, whatever. However, the longer you're off those meds, the better. And so if you can hang in there, and even though your trip has been delayed to come to Rythmia because of this virus, that medicine, the plant medicine, is going to work that much better for you. Now, I say that with a grain of salt. If you need something from your doctor, please, please, please talk to your doctor and figure that out. Everybody's different. Some people can push through it. Some people need a little assistance. It just depends. So that's very important, super key. Now, something that I would have never believed in a million years, based on my 18 years of training in the Western medical model and biochemistry and public health and psychology and psychiatry and medicine and all the crap that I did, all the brainwashing I received. However, it's funny, but there was good stuff in there, obviously. I learned a lot. I was stoked, right? But what I would have never believed in a million years is that when people, until I saw it myself hundreds of times, if not thousands of times, is that when people book to come to Rythmia, the medicine starts working on them that day, if not that minute. And you might think, okay, well, what does that mean? Is that a psychosomatic response? Is that a placebo? Is that now I'm in line with the medicine and now it's starting to kind of like shift me? I think it's your intention has truly been set when you make an appointment or when you actually decide to do the plant medicine and you've committed. commit, you know that it's going to go down. And so you have a future date, whenever that is, and everything starts to unfold. Everything starts to unfold. It's pretty wild how that happens. I would have never believed it, but I have a lot of guests tell me on their intake that this is what happens. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because if this is a really rough period for you because you had to come off of meds and you were expecting to come to Rythmia and you're by yourself and you're kind of like hanging out to dry, you feel, trust in the process, because we've seen it lots and lots and lots of times at Rythmia. We've seen it work. We've seen people all of a sudden, they're all chaotic with things, and then they call, they book, and then all of a sudden things start to kind of like fall into order, and they start to prepare in this spiritual way that's super helpful. Now, everybody that's scientific-based mind, scientific method would just laugh at that potentially, but maybe not, because there is science behind intention, and there is science behind focused thinking, and there is science behind the desire to have a change, right? There's studies on this that show this is true. But I know that if this is a really hard time for you because you came off meds and you were expecting to come to Rythmia, be patient with yourself. Do some physical activity. The number one thing to help depression, anxiety, and pain management that's opiate-based, if people are withdrawing, is moderate to mild or even strong exercise. Most of us are not in the strong exercise mode, so just do something moderate or even mild. Go for a walk. Do something, and that will boost your mood. That's going to surge dopamine. It's going to balance serotonin. It's going to work on norepinephrine, epinephrine, all kinds of stuff. It's amazing. Get some physical activity going. Do some yoga. Do whatever. Do something that will get your blood pumping and moving it. Again, you don't have to do freaking Peloton like I'm actually doing every day here, which I love. I'm doing it every day. You don't have to do something extreme like that. You can do something mild, and you can just get through, because that's going to help your mood. It's going to help you sleep better. It's going to help you be calm. It's going to take away your mind for a bit to be in a positive sense, right? Okay, so if you're alone during this time, reach out to these different platforms that are there for social media and all these different groups that you guys have, meditations. It's a really positive thing. Do your daily practice, very important. Talk to your doctor if you feel that you can't handle being off the meds. I know you can do it, by the way. I've seen lots of people do it. I know you can do it. I've worked with the most extreme patient populations in the world: acute psychiatric inpatient locked units, trauma victims, and drug and alcohol addiction. Those are my 3 patient populations. I've seen all of them do this, meaning get off meds, push through the difficult times, and have success. Now, if you feel that you can't quite do it, don't beat yourself up. It's okay. Like, do what you can. Do what you can. And talk to your doctor, and don't feel, I'm a failure because I had to go back on the meds for a little while. No, it's okay. It's okay. You have to do what's right for you. And if it's right for you to go back on the meds a little bit, cool. I believe you can push through it. I believe you don't need to. Okay, just because I've seen what people can do, and I've seen a lot of situations that are really rough. I know you can do it. But if you got to do it and get back on, don't beat yourself up. Just get on a smaller dose and then just come off of it quickly once this passes, and get your 2 weeks or 30 days free of it, and then check in with your intake person in Malibu, where our office is for Rythmia, and then we'll get you down here, okay? All right, you guys, pura vida. Thanks for watching. You're not alone if you feel that way. You're really not. We're all thinking about you. Reach out. Social media is a great platform to do that. Pura vida. See you guys next Monday. Thanks for watching.